to next league. On defense, it'll be David Buck, Jaden Pickett, Connor Simpson, and Josh Jasonkevich. David Buck was one of the star outside backers for the Michigan club team last season, or past few seasons, I should say. They played in the national tournament multiple years in a row, also under the leadership of head coach Drew Ducker. On the midfield, it'll be Thomas Dono, Younes Ramajiku, and Graham Unsworth. Thomas Dono was a graduate from Macalester College. He scored the most goals in the National Futsal Premier League last season, where Futsal Factory prioritizes a lot of their time in terms of training and stuff like that. On the attack, it'll be J.P. Asemacher, Marlon De Freitas, and Renan Paiva. It'll be a reunion of sorts for Marlon De Freitas and Renan Paiva as they played for Jags assistant coach Mark Zathi at Madonna University. De Freitas was an assistant coach with their squad last season. Those are the starting lineups. You're looking at the lines getting set. I do not believe there's anybody in the box once again to do times or national anthem or any sort of theatrics. So they'll stand out there, they'll look pretty, and then they'll shake hands and we'll get going here, as it is a intensely hot day. I have been sitting here for maybe an hour and 15 minutes, and I've already sweat from head to toe. I cannot imagine the amount of sweat that'll be dripping from these players on the field by the time this game is all said and done. It does help that the game is later in the day. It's not, a 12 o'clock start time when the sun is at its brightest. And there's a chance that the sun will start to fade and kind of go away, for lack of a better term, as the sun goes down, as the night goes on, excuse me. Dan Diak, the head coach of the Michigan Jaguars in his fourth season, 47 points in total, still at the -3 goal differential. They are 2-2 up to this point in the season. 7th place out of 10 teams in the Great Lakes East Division. And a win today would put them in a tie for Futsal Factory, who is in 5th place with a 3-2 record, 9 points in the table. Leading the way in the Great Lakes East Division is Liquid Football, who, like I said, boat raced this Michigan Futsal Factory team last night. They lost 5-1 at Liquid Football. And playing 2 games in 2 days is difficult enough, but when you play 2 games in 2 days with incredible heat index the way it is today, it's difficult. So I'm curious to see what that recovery process for Futsal Factory looked like last night coming into today. It's not often you get double headers in a league like this where, you only have to play, I think it's 10 or 12 games, not a lot, but the league stretches, or the season stretches from the last weekend in April all the way to the first weekend in August. And Drew Ducker, he goes by the name Ducks. He not only coaches this Futsal Factory team, he also runs the entire organization. And typically he's a player. Usually he'll run out there with that number 13 jersey and get involved in the action as a player coach. Today, not going to be the case. I'm not sure if he's dealing with a nagging injury or anything like that. He's getting up there in age, so no offense to him. But the older you get, it is tougher to keep up with a lot of these kids who are still playing in college. Some of them recently graduated. And in addition to coaching here, he was the former boys head coach at Dexter High School, where him and his family reside. And he is still the Michigan club head coach. That's a team that's been very successful. Usually goes undefeated in the regular season before, traveling to the national tournament down in Texas and going up against really tough teams that probably also went undefeated in their division. We are underway here at the Hawk Farmington Hills. And the quick attack for the Jags goes up empty, as it'll be David Buck to throw it in the far sideline. Get things started for the Futsal Factory. Kick sent way far and away. It's going to be a goal kick. Most likely it is. For those who are not aware of what futsal is, it's a version of I don't know how else to describe it, but indoor soccer that's played on a small court that is played with a ball that's a lot smaller and denser, and it's a South American game that is typically used by players to get themselves better at soccer. When you're on a smaller court with a more dense ball, it forces you to be more in control of your foot movement and fine-tune those skills. It's 5-on-5, and it's a lot of fun. I've had the pleasure of working with the National Futsal Premier League, the highest level of futsal in America, for the past couple seasons. Looking forward to it this winter as well. And Futsal Factory almost went undefeated before losing in the national championship to Brusa, which is a club in Arizona. A little fun fact for you guys there. Just a minute and a half into this game, I want to remind folks that this broadcast is brought to you by the North American Soccer Expo, taking place August 1st through 3rd, 2025 in Novi, Michigan. The premier event designed exclusively for soccer directors, coaches, administrators, and professionals at every level of the game, from recreational to professional. Whether you're guiding a grassroots program or leading at the elite level, you'll find tailored content to match your experience, from dynamic on-field demonstrations to in-depth classroom sessions. Beyond the education, this is your chance to network with peers, connect with mentors, and be part of a growing community dedicated to advancing the sport. Don't miss our 2 evening social events, perfect for building lasting relationships and exchanging ideas in a relaxed setting. Register today at NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. That is NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. Play still going. Not a lot of connective tissue between either of these teams, as the ball's just been kind of bouncing around for the first couple minutes of this game. This is Thomas Dono. Will come down. That's Jason Kevich. I have a knack for mispronouncing his name because it looks like Jasinkiewicz, but nope. I've been corrected more than enough times. Now it's got finally ingrained in my head. Stealing this ball away is number 23, Yunez Ramajiku. Speaking of confusing names. He gets that pass to Dono. It's deflected. Jaden Pickett will find Graham Unsworth on the outside. Dexter. Here we go, and then JP Assenmacher trying to do a spin move, not successful. A lot of tough, tussling play there. And winning on that occasion was Jonier Gonzalez. Plays a Madonna from the country of Colombia. That's number 8, Graham Unsworth, once again. Gets the ball ripped away from him. Also plays for the Michigan club team with David Buck and others that we will see pop out onto the field today. Should clarify, Buck graduated from the University of Michigan, so he won't be there this upcoming season. Speaking of Buck, he's going to take that throw in. Not successful. Or is it? I don't know. This ball is bouncing in every direction besides the way it's intended to go. Quick attack here. JP Assenmacher, they're going to call him offsides. Probably off by just a hair. It looked like the defender that was near him was pretty close. It's possible that he started running just a second too early before that pass was made. You'll see the Jags try to take advantage of quick strikes and quick attacks. That's not the pass you want. This is Marlon de Freitas on the attack. Looking for Assenmacher, not able to get him. Ball's going to roll out of bounds. It's a throw in for the Jags. Assisted by Mark Zafi, among others, including Alex Isayevsky, who's a 5'10" defender who played at in a lot of different countries in Europe. Plays for the North Macedonia national team. I didn't know North Macedonia was its own country, but until earlier this morning doing some research. This is Ramajiku passed it to Paiva and ended up, well, I thought he dribbled it out of the back of the end line, but instead, it's a corner. And just to deflect it off of the defender, and he will be the one to send it in the mix. So the Futsal Factory players stand outside of the box, and this one sent in. It's far, headed away by number 39, Ryan Sanborn. He did have Graham Unsworth directly in front of him. It was wide open. That maybe could have got a better angle towards the goal. He elected to not pass it to him. Arthur White kicks out the chest of a Factory player. Still in attacking zone. Excellent pass from Marlon de Freitas. Smacked away. Still in dangerous territory. And cleared out into the chest of David Buck. No shots on goal quite yet. Actually, scratch that though. First was a shot on goal. It's his first save of the day for Afonso Henrique, who will play this first half but not the second, as Alvaro Lopez, another Madonna player, will come in. Trying to strike here. Chasing after this one is Nathan Casal before Wesley Billings wisely gets out of the net and scoops that ball up before sending it to Graham Unsworth. This is Pickett, who will go back to Billings. So while you'll see the Michigan Jaguars try to take a lot of quick strikes for Futsal Factory, they mentioned, the head coach Ducks mentioned that they want to keep possession. And this is not one way to do so. Attacking chance here, trying to scoop that one into the box, getting outran, I believe, by David Buck. Will allow Wesley Billings to collect that ball. And that was not Buck. It was actually Connor Simpson with the excellent closing speed. Ball sent across the way from Ramajiku. It's a little too far for Jason Kevich. That'll be a throw in for Nino Shumbry. Playing defense today, he was an attacker for Schoolcraft, as we mentioned in our pregame open. And besides the attacking chance for Futsal Factory in the box, there's been a lot of consistent momentum for either team in this game. It is early, but you got to wonder with the heat index and with FFA playing on a back-to-back. The A stands for Futsal Factory Academy, as they put a lot of resources and effort into their youth, hosting and participating in a lot of youth futsal tournaments in the winter. Not expecting that pass. Gets the ball to Marlon de Freitas. Deflection will bring possession back to the Jags. This is Arthur White, midfielder from Northwood. Trying to keep that ball alive was number, I'm not sure who that was, but passes a little too far, but brings possession back to the Factory. So Futsal Factory not known for their outdoor team, but still a lot of fun to watch. Here's an attacking chance. That was Arthur White, gets it inside. Shot directly into the arms of Wesley Billings. That shot was taken by Vincent Stockton. This is Ryushin Harami. That's going to be a call 9 times out of 10. Neige Ramajiku, trying to keep possession alive, ends up tripping the attacking player. Ryushin Harami, the 5'7" midfielder from Madonna University. The pride of Japan. Not the only Japanese player that we will see on the field for the Jags. Kai Miyata, number 45, will step in as a sub at some point today. In Midwest Premier League rules, you can sub onto the field once per half. And with a hot day like today, I imagine there's going to be a lot of substitutions, or key substitutions, I should say. Wonder when that timing comes. Free kick, sent directly into the net. Great save by Wesley Billings. Not sure who that shot was by, but that's the second save of the day for the Futsal Factory, who only brought one keeper to play today, so it'll be him for both halves. as we mentioned earlier, the Jags will play a second keeper at halftime. After halftime, excuse me. Attacking chance, excellent speed from 39, Ryan Sanborn, who scored 2 last week, trying to get an assist. Here we go. Shot. Saved. Billings. Blocked. Excellent defense from Futsal Factory. The attacking chance is not over, though. Pickett sends it up into the air and headed away by Paiva. Wow, excellent stuff. There was a real chance that Vincent Stockton could have sent it into the net after 2 beautiful passes from the other attackers, Nathan Casal and Ryan Sanborn. And I believe the second shot was blocked by David Buck, if I'm not mistaken. Speaking of Buck, he'll get the ball, far side of the field. We'll get it to Paiva, the Brazilian. Thomas Dono, the team's captain, sends it up the field. This is Paiva, far wing, 25 yards out, trying to get it inside to Asemacher. Will instead go to Marlon De Freitas. Is that shot blocked? Sent all the way up to heaven, and it comes back down to De Freitas. Unfortunately for him, there were 3 Jags players in the area to play defense. Graham Unsworth receives the throw in. That's Asemacher. Not a lot of connective tissue on that possession there from Futsal Factory. They'll get back into shape while the Jags will look to make a run of their own. And Dan Diak, the ODP goalkeeping director, along with part of the coaching staff as part of that youth organization. If that's not offsides, I don't know what is. They're not going to call it, though. Thankfully for Futsal Factory, Gasol is not there in time to collect. Instead, it's going to be number 38, Tyler Niemi, one of the youngest players on this team, going inside. I think he wanted Nathan Gasol. He didn't. Gasol did not chase after that ball. I wonder if he thought or knew that he was offside, so he didn't even bother. Not sure what that was. Pickett. Back to Billings. Almost a third into this half. For Futsal Factory, it is their most successful season ever in the Midwest Premier League, and they still have 5 more games left to play. Speaking of success, this is Asemacher after a beautiful pass. Saved! Not the right shot that Asemacher wanted. And head coach Drew Ducker is probably kicking himself after watching 2 great attacking chances where the attacker just sends the ball directly into the goalkeeper. Doesn't try to take any angle on the kick. Frustrating stuff if you're a Factory fan. Trying to spin that ball in a different direction was number 39, Ryan Sanborn. Doesn't take the right touch, so Factory gets the ball back. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the most successful season for Futsal Factory. It is their 3rd season in the Midwest Premier League. They have 25 points in total, and each of the last 2 seasons they only had 8 points. Great defense from Connor Simpson to catch up, the man from Calvin College. So only 8 points each of the past 2 seasons. This year they already have 9 with 3 wins. So even though it is, for them, a very successful season, they still got 5 games left to play, and the job's not done. Substitutions will come in, I think. No, I'm wrong. That we're going to have a water break 15 minutes in. I imagine this is going to be the periodic time. Every 15 minutes we will take a step aside, and just to prevent any heat stroke from taking place. While they're taking a break, we will remind folks that this broadcast is brought to you by Derek Bauer Realty Solutions. If you have questions about buying a home, selling a home, or just about property in general, the Michigan Jaguars are proud to have Derek Bauer as their official real estate partner, and he is happy to answer any questions you may have. Visit BauerRealtySolutions.com/contact-us. That's BauerRealtySolutions.com/contact-us. Big thank you to Derek Bauer Realty Solutions for sponsoring today's broadcast. While this water break is being taken place, I'm going to take a step aside and get a drink of water myself. I'll be right back.
I muted you.
Wonderful. Thank you. Players making their way back out to the field at a very loose pace. You could have seen on the camera there a lot of conversation going on between the factory members as well as the Michigan Jaguars, between the two teams, I should say. Like we mentioned, some of these players play with each other at Madonna, and there's also a sibling rivalry. So the captain for Futsal Factory, Thomas Dono, is going up against his brother, his younger brother, Dominic Dono, who plays with the MLS Next Michigan Jaguars team and will be in the lineup at some point today. So nice sibling rivalry. This is Sanborn. Near side wing will go back to Tyler Niemi. Apologies if I hit my mic there. Will cross the field. Fake the shot. You don't want that one from out there. Niemi loses the ball. Gets deflected back to Arthur White. Wanted a shot. Gets deflected off of Graham Unsworth, who took a tough shot to his thighs. Walking gingerly. Imagine he's just sore at the moment. Great pass. The far side. I do believe this is Vincent Stockton, if I'm not mistaken. Shot inside. Saved by Billings. Another shot. Blocked. And sending it out of bounds is Thomas Dono to force a throw-in. In less than 20 minutes of play, Wesley Billings already has 4 saves. So this is what the Jaguars want to do. They want to create chances for themselves, and also they want to convert, but the more chances you're able to create, the better chance you have at scoring on those chances. Trying to take that shot was number 32, Nathan Casal. Was not able to do so. It'll be Renan Paiva. We'll send it down the wing. Checking the stream right now. Looks like we got about 80 people, over 80 people watching today's matchup live from the Hawk. Thank you for being here on We Are Soccer, whether you're watching from YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, and wherever else you may be across the world. Thank you for checking us out, as both of these teams are looking to rise in the standings. A win today for the Jags would move them into a tie for 5th with this same Futsal Factory team. And for Futsal Factory, if they were to win, I think they would move themselves up to 3rd, if I'm not mistaken. It depends on if the Stars beat Legends FC earlier today. I imagine they did. And if that is the case, Legends FC would still be without a win in their campaign. But Michigan Stars would continue to improve upon their very successful season where they're competing with Liquid Football for that top spot. Trying to keep the ball alive is Ryan Sanborn. He's doing a great job. This is Nathan Casal. That shot, or pass, I should say, blocked out of bounds. It's a corner. If I'm not mistaken, this is the second corner of the day for the Jags. A little over 20 minutes into this match. Fun, competitive stuff so far. Both of these teams just trying to feel each other out. To take it will be Ryush and Harami. Brad of Japan sends it. Was on the near side and was headed away by Jaden Pickett. And that afro of his. Imagine there's a lot of cushion on that head bump. Throw-in incoming for the Jags. And I am curious how these refs will handle the water break. If you're a Jags fan, you know that these refs that the Midwest Premier League has brought in have been questionable at times when it comes to the way they officiate games and when they decide to play games or not play games. As substitutions for Futsal Factory will come in. It's Guy Ramos, one of the star futsal players in the NFPL, as well as Robbie Oates, the midfielder, checking in. Taking a step off will be Graham Unsworth as well as Marlon de Fritas. Throwing over the head of the defender will get to, I believe, Guy Ramos, who sends it just a little too far out of bounds. He's looking for Assenmacher. To throw it in will be Shembri. Double team incoming, and a foul called, I believe it's going to be on Casal. So they're going to say it's a free kick instead of a throw-in. As Casal was double teamed, Pickett sends it in. Receiving this one, 13, Jason Kevich. Excellent pass. That's Guy Ramos trying to get after it. And better defense from number 42, Ryan Moody, the 6-footer from Detroit Mercy, to prevent Guy Ramos, the fresh Guy Ramos, I should add, from getting to that ball. The way he was able to close out to that attacker, excellent stuff. Pretty good defense on both sides up to this point. The keepers have had to work, I'll say that, but in addition to the saves that both keepers have made, 6 combined, there's just been some good defensive pressure to keep these teams from hitting the back of the net. Calling out the play was the Futsal Factory defender. Guy Ramos felt pressure, and they were going to call foul on that. They were going to give advantage initially, but he turned the ball over, so it'll be a free kick towards the center midfield. Back into play. Ramajiku was begging for it, not going to get it. They'll go inside and turn it over instead. This is Tower Niemi, who will instead go back to his keeper, Afonso Henrique, from Brazil. One of many Brazilians on the field at the moment. Renan Paiva, speaking of Brazil, keeps the ball alive on that far side wing. Wanted to go inside to Ramos, not able to do so. An attacking chance was coming from the foot of Harami, instead it's a turnover. Now trying to keep that ball alive was Connor Simpson. Kind of moving back and forth. This is number 5, Robbie Oates, who's checked in. Chambry hooks that one away. Good movement from that attacker to fake going inside, and he does it again. A stutter step, 2 in a row sent his defender on skates. Closing in to try to get that ball was Nino Chambry. Instead, he shoulder checks it out of bounds, as we now have 3 substitutions coming in for the Jags. It'll be number 43, Dominic Dono, the brother of Thomas Dono, the captain of the other side. In addition to Otavio, and Adam Pluschek. Some header sends the ball up and away. There's some very brave ball boys and ball girls on the sideline to help make sure that the pace of play continues. God bless them for being out there in this intense heat. Excellent pass. Ivo was on the outside, except he was off. So will be a free kick instead for the Michigan Jaguars. Nearly 30 minutes into this match. Headed by David Buck. Possession flips to the Jags. I've said that phrase a lot, possession flipping back and forth, because neither one of these teams has been able to really be on the same page in terms of where they want the ball to go. Again, not sure if it's a heat thing or if it's a tired thing or what's going on here. Something that's interesting to note is that some of these Midwest Premier League games that I've commentated for, I noticed that the team really doesn't come out to start warming up until about 30 minutes before the game starts, which to me is crazy. I would need a lot more time than that if I wanted to warm up for a high-intense match such as this. But both of these teams here today were out well before an hour before the game started, out practicing, doing their warm-ups, running their drills, and keeping themselves warmed up, going back and forth from the locker room, which is on the far right side of your screen, on the right side of the field, I should say. Ball deflected back to Wesley Billings. Prevents the shot from 34, Janier Gonzalez, It was 43, Dominic Dono. I got that number wrong, I apologize. 3 more substitutions on each side, so a total of 6 players coming in. Notably for the Jags is number 31, Jeshua Cabillos, the defender from Madonna, as well as Ethan Goldstein, a defender for Michigan Futsal Factory, coming in. The Jags running a 4-2-3-1. Futsal Factory typically runs a 4-3-3. A lot of different coaching philosophies and styles of play here in the Great Lakes East Division. It's exciting to watch different teams like this, where for Futsal Factory they do this mainly as a way to keep their guys trained and in shape, mostly for their futsal season in the winter, and some of which for the Michigan club season, which starts in the fall. Excellent speed from Chambry. He's able to chase that ball and keep it alive for the Jags. Tripping over this one is number 45, Kai Miyata, who's checked in very recently. And for the Jags, they have a lot of, now the 30-minute mark has passed, so it's going to be another water break. A great time to, we'll get back to that different play styles point in a second, but it's a great time to remind you folks that today's match is brought to you by the North American Soccer Expo, taking place August 1st through 3rd, 2025 in Novi, Michigan. The premier event designed exclusively for soccer directors, coaches, administrators, and professionals at every level of the game. from recreational to professional. Whether you're guiding a grassroots program or leading at the elite level, you'll find tailored content to match your experience, from dynamic on-field demonstrations to in-depth classroom sessions. Beyond the education, this is your chance to network with peers, connect with mentors, and be part of a growing community dedicated to advancing the sport. Don't miss our 2 evening social events. Perfect for building lasting relationships and exchanging ideas in a relaxed setting. Register today at NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. That's NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. Drew Ducker going to pull his team in and have a chat with each of them to make sure they're all on the same page. Meanwhile, Michigan Jaguars will chat individually or in groups before they trot back out onto the field. I'm going to get a water break myself. I'll be right back. Play resumes. 15 minutes left to go in this half. Now, the thing with the water breaks is I'm not sure if they're going to add an extra 5 minutes or so onto the end of the first half. They're going to call it a 45. If they do add time, are they going to take another water break at the 45th minute? Be curious to see that, as a trip on Nino Schembri gives the Jags a free kick in the attacking zone. Crossed field, not where the ball was intended to go, but still managing possession, are the Michigan Jaguars. Good defense there from, I believe that was Assenmacher, who's now flipped to the far side of the field. Was acting as the left winger, now is operating on the right side. A little bit of personnel change. Back to Ramajiku. Trying to keep that one in bounds as Assenmacher not able to. These passes haven't been on point. Again, is it a heat thing? Is it a tired thing? Is it a mix of both? Guy Ramos trying to get behind that ball, not able to do so. Instead, it's going to be a counter-attack chance for the Michigan Jaguars. Look at that speed. Number 43, Dominic Dono. Trying to get that ball inside. Not the touch he wanted. He was looking for number 46, Otavio Toluso, midfielder from Schoolcraft College. Ball swings to the far side. This is Buck, who will go back to Simpson. Those two have played the entirety of the game up to this point. Robbie Oates. As now the Factory are content to play the possession game for a little bit. Trying to close in on that one was number 47, Adam Pluschek. Scored last week. Off by a wide margin is Guy Ramos. I think he expected that pass to come a touch sooner. If I'm not mistaken, it was Robbie Oates that settled on the ball for a second before kicking it. Just a timing error. It's one of those things that typically you'd iron out in practice or training. Pluschek. Good ball movement from the Jags. This is Cabillos. That was Arthur White on the far shot, or far pass, excuse me. Kicking it out of bounds is Buck, allowing his team to catch up. And Ryan Moody will be the one to throw it in. He's got Pluschek directly in front of him. Won't go to him, though. Wanted Dono. Ball is kicked up into the air. Passed inside. Offside's not called. Shot saved. Oh my goodness. A whip around kick, not successful either. There's going to say there's a deflection off of the ball, which makes it a corner for the Jags. Great save once again by Wesley Billings. That's his 5th save of the evening. And it's not even evening yet. The sun's still out. Getting ready to send this one in is Nino Shembri. A lot of players lined up on the far side of the box. It's on the ground. Shot, blocked, deflected away. Trying to keep that one alive instead of letting it roll out of bounds. It was Dominic Dono who tried to turn it around and kick it in, but it was a weak shot and an easy pickup for Billings. That's Oates outside of Buck. He's going to drive. He sees space. He's going to take advantage. Going on the far side to Assemacher, who gets triple teamed and fouled, giving the Factory a chance to attack in the middle third. Less than 10 minutes left in this half. Before stoppage time, of course. Ball sent to the near side of the field. Downing that one is Ethan Goldstein. Get out to Lucas Yasayan, who checked in some time ago. Jason Kevich will go inside, deflected by Cubillos, and now kept in bounds. This is Shembri, going to face some tough defense. Manages to get it past the defender there. Shembri loses the ball underneath his feet. Quick turnover. Essentially, there's a lot of stuff going on. Foul call? I imagine there has to be something. They will call it on Shembri. You could hear the impact from the foot to the shin guard all the way from up here. Cubillos steals the ball. Now it's a counterattack. This is plus check. Wants number 45 Kai Miyata on that right wing, not able to get him. Not enough zip on that pass, and not the right angle either. It was a little too short. Again, the Jags are a team that want to rush the attack. They want to try to push numbers forward. While Futsal Factory, they are content to play the long game. And use all of their players here in the first half. Checking in now, Chris Nauman, I believe is his name. Along with number 6, Sal Orlardi. Apologies to Mr. Nauman and Orlardi if I missay their names or mispronounce it. A great attacking chance off the head of Dominic Dono, still keeping play alive. And now in the counter-attack chance, this is Assemacher back to the left winger spot. And Shembri keeps it in bounds. Trying to start a counter-attack chance for the Jags. Dono finds Niemi, who's played the entirety of this half. Possession flips once again. Ball inside. It's Guy Ramos who finds Assemacher. Ramos is kind of flipped back to that midfielder spot. Ball number 6, Orlardi, is inside. Shot directly into the chest of Alfonso Henrique. That's his 3rd save of the evening. He will not be active in the second half. It'll be Alvaro Lopez, who I believe played in the last game against Legends FC. Didn't have to do a whole lot there. Only 2 saves in that match. Jags have done a great job of generating pressure up to this point. It's just on them to be able to take advantage of those chances. Diak has mentioned how much he wants to play from ahead instead of playing from behind. Last week, they were able to play from ahead for the majority of the game. never went down to Legends. It gave his team that confidence boost. That at this point of the season, after this, they'll be halfway done with their Midwest Premier League 2025 year. Shenby trying to keep it alive, fighting through a ton of contact. Instead, it goes to the Factory. Try to skip past the defense. Instead, it will be the Jags trying to keep it alive. But ball movement and kicking and hitting around on the near sideline. Otavio Toluso wanted to go quick. Center ref says, no, a little back over here. So it'll be Miata to throw it in. He gets the ball back. Wanted to cross it. Not going to do so. Miata was intended on that pass. It was a turnover, though. Now trying to get a run going is Futsal Factory. Before that, lazy pass turns into a turnover before the ball gets sent right back to the other side. It's like I'm watching Pawn, that classic game. You just send the ball back and forth. That's what this soccer match has kind of turned into up to this point. Could have played advantage. Center ref decided not to, so ball stopped before it gets turned over. That pass, too much zip on it for Otavio Toluso. Typically a midfielder, he's on the striker position right now. That ball sent down the way. Chasing after this one is number 3, who trips over the goalkeeper. Kai Miata will send it out of the side, the near side touchline for a throw-in. And there is a trainer needed as Afonso Henrique is holding, looks like his right upper leg area on his thigh. That was number 3, Chris Nauman, who was trying to attack on that. It's very possible that he kicked the keeper, Enrique, directly in the gut or in that leg. And he's just feeling the weight of it right now. A reminder for folks at home who are not living in the area, it is hotter than hot right now. If you took all 7 depths of hell and combined them, I don't think it would reach the heat that these men are feeling on the field. I believe the high for today was 95 degrees with a 200% humidity. Right now the current temperature is 91 degrees. And not a lot of wind blowing on the field. There is a light breeze here and there, but nothing consistent. Enrique is seemingly better. He is still gingerly walking, though. You see them seem kind of trying to iron his leg out almost and try to shake it off. To throw this one in will be number 4, Connor Simpson, defender from Calvin. Simpson throws it into the box, headed up, off the crossbar. Wow, near shot from Futsal Factory. I'm not sure who headed that one. I think it might have been Guy Ramos. Send that ball whipping around. It's out of bounds on the far side touchline. Throw in for the Jags. Throw in, trying to go far up ahead. What an excellent move to be able to get that ball above his defender's head. And now a chance for Adam Pluschek trying to chase after the ball. Excellent slide tackle. I believe that was Connor Simpson. Still an attacking chance though. This is Chembry trying to go inside. Instead he'll take a shot from the other side of the city. And we'll go way above the net. that shot was on frame, it probably would have went right through the net, like that iconic scene from the last season of Ted Lasso. Goldstein goes back to Billings. Deep shot taken by Futsal Factory will go into the arms of Henrique. Looking for Guy Ramos on that. We are now in extra time. We've been in extra time for about a minute and a half, so that answers my question on how they were going to handle the extra time for water breaks and such. I imagine we got another 2 to 3 minutes left before they signal for the end of the half. This is Nauman to throw it in. He's got 3 guys in front of him, all tightly guarded. Guy Ramos heads it behind him, taking advantage and stolen from the defense. Arthur White sends it down the way. Headed by the right shoulder. There's a Toluso in that striker spot. Ball sent back to Simpson. Kicking back and forth with him was Lucas Miller, who checked in some time ago. That deep shot taken to Nauman. It's too far for him. Probably would have been out of bounds if he was in the right spot anyways. Kick sent away by Pluscheck. So it is a throw in for the Factory. Up to this point in the game, it's been a lot of loose, relaxed play from both sides. I think, for the most part, they're trying to just keep their energy up and not wear themselves out. Foul on the Jags. I think Schembry's been hearing it from the ref all day. Might have been a good old two-handed shove. Not a lot of time left to play in this first half. Not a whole lot has happened either, if I'm being honest, in terms of significant events. It's just been a lot of disconnected passes. But when the opportunities are there, they are putting the ball on frame. It's just been an excellent clinic from the goalkeepers. This is Connor Simpson, and that is the end of the half. With nearly 4 minutes of stoppage time this season as we are back underway with the second half. And you can really see the maturity of someone who's a sophomore in college leading this Michigan Jaguars team with a lot of high school age players on it. So it's interesting to see the dynamics of this team, especially a guy like Arthur White, who was at one point one of those high school players that I assume needed to be led by an older player. And now he is in those same shoes, has those same responsibilities to lead the younger guys. Throw in near the top of your screen. First throw in was unsuccessful, so the Factory will get another chance at it. This will be number 31, Cabillos, who did not start this game, but is starting the second half. Kicking it to Robbie Oates on the other team. Ball bouncing all types of different directions. Here we go, an impressive, speedy attack from Vincent Stockton, who almost lost the ball. Made it look almost intentional. As now this is Ryushin Harami, who loses the ball underneath his foot. And that's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. If it were, 75 degrees, maybe a little bit of wind, like, that doesn't happen. Him missing that pass wouldn't be taking place. And it's been happening, it's not just on the Jags and not just on that one player. It's been happening with pretty much all 22 guys on the field. I'm shocked that none of these keepers have slipped up to this point. The 0-0 score line. No yellow cards. It's been a fair game up to this point. That ball sent into the third row. And both of these teams respect for each other because a lot of them play together. Some of these guys that are familiar with the Jaguar system, others that are, so that's going to go out for a goal kick. Some of them that played together in college. Some of them that are even related. Dominic Dono and Thomas Dono are brothers. Yunez Ramajiku, a part of that Michigan Jaguars 08 MLS Next team. He's teammates with Dominic Dono, so a bit of a fun rivalry for those two as well. Kick placed a little farther down the way, and Alvaro Lopez will get his first touch on the ball in this game. Last week against the Legends FC, he had 2 saves and 1 goal allowed. Defense was stellar in that match, so he didn't have to do a whole lot of work to keep his team alive. It was a 1-1 score at halftime. What a tough play from Renan Paiva, the Brazilian. Marlon de Freitas lets that ball go. It is going to be Paiva who's going to look for the cross on the near side. Will go over the net, headed up and into the touch of Ryan Moody, who sends it down the way. Otavio Toluso was trying to get it before it was headed by Connor Simpson. Now it's Jaden Pickett. Guy Ramos trying to take advantage. Marlon de Freitas wanted anybody to cut in front of him. Nobody does. They all kind of backed off. Alvaro Lopez, the new keeper, not new keeper, but the keeper that's on the field right now for the Michigan Jaguars. 5'11", from Madonna University. Resides in the country of Spain when he's not here in America. This is Moody. Toluso stops his momentum and does not chase after that ball. Bit of a miscommunication there. You see him kind of look back at his player and say, hey, be a little patient with me on that one. And I think the way to win this game, or even just score a goal, period, is to get those systematic movements up the field, because the quick passes and trying to get it upfield is not working. This is Harami. Errant pass. Excellent block! Jaden Pickett, right place, right time. If that ball had passed another inch, it would have been past the goal line. Oh my goodness. Shot on goal from Ryushin Harami, who has scored a goal already this season for the Jags against Troy United. And Jaden Pickett, excellent awareness, as he will head that ball away as well off the corner. Possession still alive for the Jags. They'll look to move this ball around. So the errant pass for Ryushin Harami gave him a chance, a shot on goal. He ends up getting it past the keeper, but not past Jaden Pickett, who fell backward into the goal. Probably one of the best defensive plays I've seen all season. That mistake by the defender, Janir Torres, ends up being collected by Daniel Patino, who's played a fair amount of time in this game. I haven't called out his name up until now. Midfielder from Schoolcraft. Guy Ramos doesn't bite, stays home. Will instead pass someone back to Cabillos. Those two will play the pass back and forth. Harami will go back. Receiving that pass was Otavio Toluso, and there's an offsides called. Toluso was running back towards the ball. I don't know if it was Toluso who was called or another player. Very interesting call by that side judge on the far side of your screen. I mentioned earlier that there were 80 plus people watching. I was mistaken. That was a note from our producer. There are 80 plus people in the stands here live. So even with the heat index noting that it is 212.8 degrees outside, that's Fahrenheit by the way, there are still a lot of fans for both the Michigan Jaguars and Futsal Factory Academy supporting their club. It's awesome stuff. That's what the Midwest Premier League is all about. Support your local team. That was Shembri, who I do not believe has sat at all in this game. That ball kicked to the other side of the field. Excellent speed from Vincent Stockton, the man from Detroit Mercy, to force a throw-in. In the danger zone. Bad touch from Otavio Toluso. Sends it out for a goal kick. I want to remind folks that this half of, the whole season of the Michigan Jaguars is brought to you by the North American Soccer Expo, taking place August 1st through 3rd, 2025 in Novi, Michigan. The premier event designed exclusively for soccer directors, coaches, administrators. I'll return to that in a second as Renan Paiva is going to get called for an offsides. The premier event designed exclusively for soccer directors, coaches, administrators, and professionals at every level of the game, from recreational to professional. Whether you're guiding a grassroots program or leading at the elite level, you'll find tailored content to match your experiences. Ryushin Harami gets badly tackled, which leads to a yellow for Futsal Factory. Not sure who that was on, as I was trying to make sure the Jaguars' bills get paid. Yellow called in the 54th minute. Let's just start over. Join us at the North American Soccer Expo, taking place August 1st through 3rd, 2025 in Novi, Michigan. The premier event designed exclusively for soccer directors, coaches, administrators, and professionals at every level of the game. Oh, wow. I guess I can't go through this read. Every time I try, something exciting happens. From recreational to professional, whether you're guiding a grassroots program or leading at the elite level, you'll find tailored content to match your experience, from dynamic on-field demonstrations to in-depth classroom sessions. Beyond the education, this is your chance to connect with peers, network with mentors, and be part of a growing community dedicated to advancing the sport. Don't miss our 2 evening social events, perfect for building lasting relationships, exchanging ideas, and a relaxed setting. You can register today at NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. Corner, taken short to Otavio Toluso. Vincent Stockton flicks it in the box. Oh, header. I think he was expecting a Jaguar player to be behind him to finish that shot off. Not the case, and through 55 minutes, no score. Pickett sends that one down the way. Roland Freitas not there in time. Roland Freitas, a leader by example, an assistant coach at Madonna University, so a lot of these Jaguar players have experience working with him. Headed by Stockton. Booted up into the air by multiple players, including Rabiot, who sends that. And another offsides is called, this time on Futsal Factory. They will go quick. This is Dominic Dono, the young man from the 08 MLS Next team. Vincent Stockton takes an excellent touch. He's going to have a chance to put it in the frame. Instead, he'll go for the pass. And it's deflected, I believe, by Pickett, so it goes out for a corner. And laying on the ground is Connor Simpson. I think he's just a little tired. Able to get back up and do his thing. It's going to be Ryushin Harami to send it in from the corner. Harami on the far corner. A lot of Jags players lined up towards that left outside part of the box. Curious to see what they got drawn up here. Kick is low. Hits the ground first. Corralled by Otavio Toluso. Excellent move. Needs the cross. Goes directly into the net! Forget the cross! That's a goal, baby! Otavio Toluso! Brock rocket-powered shot, and it looked like Wesley Billings was thinking what I was thinking, which is this is a cross and that this is going to go nowhere near the net. Instead, he deflects that baby directly into the goal. 1-0. Jaguars in the 58th minute. Finally breaking the tie that's existed for 57 minutes. And again, you take so many shots on goal, eventually you got to capitalize. Wesley Billings had 5 shots on goal, and those are not, Wesley Billings had 5 saves, but the shots on goal, or those saves don't include a lot of those shots that were deflected by a defender, including Jaden Pickett, Connor Simpson, as well as David Buck, who have all done an excellent job keeping the ball out of the net. And I imagine that Futsal Factory team had the same thought that I had, which was to look for the person who was going to receive that pass instead of protecting the net. And it allows for an easy goal from the foot of Otavio Toluso. Nearly 15 minutes into this second half, Alvaro Lopez has touched the ball twice, both at his feet. So, Futsal Factory is yet to really develop a strong attack in this half. That ball booted to the side of the field. It is still inbound, so it's going to come at the foot of Wesley Billings, the young man who plays for the Wolves U19 squad for the MLS Next League. Talking to resident soccer expert Brooks Lambier Jr. about the differences between MLS Next, ECNL, all the different club teams and leagues that exist amongst youth teams, and what prevents kids from competing at the high school level for their high school team. Soccer, a very dynamic game in that aspect. So that ball goes out of bounds. It is going to be a water break nearly 16 minutes into this match. I want to remind folks that this broadcast is brought to you by Derek Bauer Realty Solutions. If you have questions about buying a home or selling a home or just about property in general, the Michigan Jaguars are proud to have Derek Bauer as their official real estate partner, and he is happy to answer any questions you may have. Visit BauerRealtySolutions.com/contact-us. That's BauerRealtySolutions.com/contact-us. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back as players will jog back onto the field. If you were just joining us, it was a deadlock for 57 minutes in this match before. Otavio Toluso faked across and instead just sent a ball rocket power directly into the back of the net to finally break the tie and give your Michigan Jaguars a 1-0 lead in this Midwest Premier League match. Thank you for joining us on We Are Soccer. Wherever you're watching, we are streaming live from YouTube, X, Facebook, Twitch, MySpace, Amazon Prime, Bally Sports Detroit, and everywhere else you can find your sports. A lot of those I'm just kidding on, but we're very thankful to have you around, regardless of wherever you're watching from. So about a half hour left to go before this one is called good. Some more foul calls. Only one yellow card up to this point, a tough defensive hit where Yushin Harami took towards the center midfield. Not sure who the yellow was awarded to, but that defender really got Harami good and prevented that attack from continuing forward. That was before the goal, about 4 minutes before, to be exact. And taking a look at my social media online, it is impressive to see the amount of teams, leagues, and outdoor stuff that's going on despite the heat index. So I imagine there's a lot of tired players all around the Michigan area. But this is how you build resilience and in a sense, toughness if you're able to compete in conditions like this and compete at a high level at that. So when you get to a place where, all right, it's 75 degrees out, yeah, that's still pretty warm, but even then, it's not 95, so it feels like the players who are competing at a high level in the 95-degree weather can have an advantage. If what I'm saying makes sense. I hope it does. This heat index might make me lose my mind too, I'll be honest. Free kick in the danger zone about 25 yards out from the goal. Set piece is set up. Kick is really high, going to go over the over the end line, and go out for a goal kick. No saves from either keeper in this second half. Only one shot on goal. It went directly into the net. And there was another shot on goal that isn't recorded as such because it was blocked out of the net by Jaden Pickett. Something that did not come across your screen was the substitutions coming in. That's why there was a pause. David Buck as well as Captain Thomas Dono and others checked into the game. Speaking of Buck, he'll get the ball on the right back side. He started the game but did not start the second half. This is Robbie Oates. Deep kick, looking for Paiva. Doesn't have the height advantage. And wasn't in the right spot anyways. Goes over his head to the feet of Tanner Locke. 6'1" defender from Ohio Northern University. The kick sent back to Wesley Billings, and now Futsal Factory will take their time setting up their possession. David Buck on the near side. Great passing footwork from Futsal Factory. Buck slides, kicks it directly into the chest of Ryan Moody, so it goes out for a throw-in. I know they're going to call that a foul first on the Jaguars. Oates inside. This is Lucas Yasayan. Vincent Stockton fighting for that ball with Robbie Oates. Oh, excellent move. Looked like he was talking a little smack too while the ball was in play. Dangerous stuff. You could get yourself set up for a cheap shot. Jaden Pickett sends it over to number 8. That's Graham Unsworth. Possession still alive before that ball is sent up into the air. Lazy flick from the Futsal Factory player. The ball will go into the arms of Alvaro Lopez for the first time today. He's had it at his feet, but his arms have not touched the ball until now. Did spend plenty of time during the half warming up and making sure he was all good to go. It's good for the Jaguar side. Lucas Nauman on the far side gets the ball ripped away from him. Like I mentioned at halftime, both of these teams looking just a smidge lazy with their possessions and the way that they're moving the ball around. And it's not because that they're lazy, it's just they're tired. They're playing in 116-degree heat, which is very difficult for them to keep their focus. Excellent defense there from preventing Thomas Dono from sending that ball into the net. It was a good cross from Karim Unsworth. Now the counterattack chance. Look at that speed from Vincent Stockton, trying to get past his defender, Connor Simpson, still with the ball in his possession. Will go inside. Simpson deflects it out, and it's out for a corner. Will be on the near side. As with a little over 20 minutes left to go before stoppage time, a 1-0 lead could expand even further. And I don't want to be the guy to say this, but if the Jags went up 2-0, I'm sure that would feel like the end of the game, because it's been very difficult for Futsal Factory to generate chances on the goal already in the second half. Cross way over his head, over everybody's head, I should say. Toluso sends it over the net. Goal kick for Futsal Factory Academy. For both of these teams, they will play their next game Wednesday, June 24th. For your Michigan Jaguars, they will be at FC Pontiac at 7 p.m. at Wisner Stadium. And for Futsal Factory, they will come back home to Dexter High School. They will play Inter Detroit. A lot of nice Great Lakes East matchups taking place this Wednesday, as the season is in full swing. I believe the 2025 season, the most teams that the Midwest Premier League has ever had. Impressive stuff from them. Leadership continues to get better year after year. They announced a partnership with the League for Clubs. Looks like they're going to use the Midwest Premier League as a lower tier, where if you win enough games in this league, you can get promoted into the League for Clubs, which is an interesting thought in theory. I'm curious to see how that works out in practice. Bad pass. Toluso not able to take advantage of the ball. Dominic Dono fighting for his life. And still, through all of that, impressive work from Yunej Ramajiku to fight through two defenders to keep that ball in possession of the Factory. That slide from number 31, Jesua Cabillos, will give the Factory a throw-in on the far side touchline. Rabiot sends it into the head of the Jags defender. This is Daniel Patino. David Buck trying to keep that ball alive without it letting it go into the box, excuse me. Oates. Out to Simpson. Keeping the ball in his possession. He likes that space. He's going inside, trying to find Paiva. Not enough zip on that pass, and Alvaro Lopez sends it out anyways. The side judge outside of your screen would have called a offsides anyways. Probably off by just a foot. So because of that offsides call, it'll be a free kick for the Jags in their own third. They'll send it to Ryushin Harami, who finds an excellent through ball to number 32, Nathan Casal, who kept it alive. I'm like, what? What? Substitutions coming in for the Futsal Factory. Casal definitely tried to pretend like that ball did not go over the end line and try to keep, the play alive and that kind of thing, but it was clear as day that it crossed past that white line on the far side of your screen. goal kick for the Factory in a game that they have really struggled to develop good striking chances. Checking in is number 13, Jason Kevich, defender from Churchill High School, among others. Ball sent deep. Now this is Patino, keeping the ball alive. Vincent Stockton will pass inside. Ball moving around. This is Stockton once again playing in the midfield. He can play all 11 positions. Let's see him in a goalkeeper jersey later on in the season. Ball cleared by Unsworth. Kept alive by Yasayan. This is Unsworth, excuse me. Must have confused him with someone else on the other side. And the foul called on Futsal Factory as Daniel Patino is going to do a backward somersault. Very close to the last water break of the game. Ryushin Harami, midfield, guarded by Ethan Goldstein. This is Dominic Dono. Back out. And number 32, Nathan Casal, not able to keep possession alive. Cobios will have to send it back. Excuse me, that is Janier Gonzalez. Patino, go out to Stockton. Excellent pass back and forth before it was deflected back to the keeper by David Buck. Connor Simpson. We'll go back to Billings. And if you're the Futsal Factory right now, you got to do everything you can to just keep the possession alive and don't make any silly passes, like trying to split the defense, doing all types of crazy stuff. He's offsides by a wide margin. It's not going to matter, though. Alvaro Lopez will send it back to the midfield. Vincent Stockton will go back to his defensive back, number 42, Ryan Moody, his Detroit Mercy teammate. This is Gonzalez. Go to Harami, who loses the ball. Keeps it alive, though, and able to get past Ramajiku. Pass inside. Excellent through ball. Nathan Casal. What do you got, kid? Shot blocked. And we'll go out for a corner past the left side of that corner post. Excellent block there from number 3, Chris Nauman. 15 minutes left. Imagine the final water break of the game is going to come soon, unless they are foregoing that because of the shade that has now eclipsed the field. Dono running into the box to play defense. That corner's sent right to the middle of the box. Nobody got it, though, before it touched the ground. This is Deluso. He had a possession like this earlier where he had it on the the near side of the field. He faked the cross and just went towards the goal itself. And as I say that, we will go to our final water break of the game. We will remind folks that this broadcast is brought to you by the North American Soccer Expo, taking place August 1st through 3rd, 2025 in Novi, Michigan. The premier event designed exclusively for soccer directors, coaches, administrators, and professionals at every level of the game, from recreational to professional. Whether you're guiding a grassroots program or leading at the elite level, you'll find tailored content to match your experience, from dynamic on-field demonstrations to in-depth classroom sessions. Beyond the education, this is your chance to network with peers, connect with mentors, and be part of a growing community dedicated to advancing the sport. Don't miss our 2 evening social events, perfect for building lasting relationships and exchanging ideas in a relaxed setting. Register today at NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. That is NorthAmericanSoccerExpo.com. We'll be right back after this water break. Last water break of the game. Last water break of the game, and the keeper for Futsal Factory, Wesley Billings, will play with the ball for a little bit before returning it back with a little less than 15 minutes to go. Because I don't think Jaguars were ready when the whistle blew, so they will look to shape up. The Factory were not able to take advantage, though. Futsal Factory's been looking for deep kicks all game. Let's see if this one is successful. Good defense, though, but it is ripped away by Nauman. Defender for the for the Jaguars will send that ball away. Stockton keeps it in bounds. No, he won't. They're going to say it's a throw-in for Futsal Factory. Sion gets the ball stolen away. He was about triple-teamed, damn near. Vincent Stockton will go back. Ball kicked up into the air, looking for Ryushin Harami. Nearly takes down the defender there. And oh my, they're going to call the foul on Futsal Factory. Ryushin Harami pretty much jumped on top of the Futsal Factory player, whose number escapes me. It is number 4, Connor Simpson. Connor Simpson literally got cross-bodied in the field of play. Head coach Dux is not happy about it. If the result holds, Jaguars will move to 3-2. It'll be their 7th, 8th, and 9th points of the season. Put them in a tie for 5th place with Futsal Factory. And meanwhile, Factory would be 3-3. Still, if they were to lose every game for the rest of the season, it would be their most successful season in the Midwest Premier League with 9 points. They've scored 8 points the past 2 seasons. In the table, that's not goals scored. If there's any confusion as to what points may mean when I refer to that. That's an excellent through ball. Nauman trying to score. Saved by Alvaro Lopez, and the shot is out of bounds. Too far near side, and the first save of the second half comes from Alvaro Lopez. Off of the foot. I believe I said the wrong. No, it is. I got it right. It's Chris Nauman, who was listed on my roster as a defender. He's now in the striker position. A little bit of touchy play going on towards that midfield on the near side. Excellent passes here. Not a lot of defenders to work with. David Buck on defense against Vincent Stockton, the man from Detroit Mercy. Cross into the arms of Billings. Good job from him on getting in front of that ball before allowing anything crazy to happen. We're at a point now where the game will certainly be over if the Jags were to score another goal. Speaking of the Jags, they're going to substitute 3 more players in. Most notably Arthur White, who started this game, one of the leaders of this team. Jaguars don't have explicit captains, but there's obviously players who are older than others and kind of have a hold on the locker room, you could say. Ball headed away by Buck. It will go back directly into possession of the Michigan Jaguars, chasing after this one. 39 Ryan Sanborn trying to keep it in bounds and did the same thing that Gasol did earlier in this game, earlier in this half, where he dribbled that out of bounds and I said, no, it's in bounds. We can keep playing. The side judge correctly disagreed. Buck sends it down the way. Deflected. Now sent all types of different directions. The Jags will try to keep possession of this. Nauman will find someone in the box, or lack thereof. That was Ramajiku, who was flanked by two defenders on each, or one defender on each side, and definitely could have had a shot on goal as Alvaro Lopez is coming close to the ball and out of his box. A Factory team that needs a goal here. Nauman wants a pass inside. No, gonna go for the shot. Great save. Alvaro Lopez using those two fingertips, the two longest fingers, to push that one just outside the net. Second save of the evening for him. 84th minute now. Graham Unsworth to send us in. A goal would be crucial. Corner over the heads of everybody. Not the right touch from the striker there. We'll go back to Unsworth. Possession still alive. Fakes the cross. We'll go left-footed instead. And it's headed away by the Jags. Goldstein was trying to keep possession alive, and now it's Wesley Billings at the 45 yards outside of his net, trying to almost become involved in the offense as if he is playing futsal. It's a type of offensive formation that can exist in that game with the small field dimensions. Jags are going to try to start a counterattack before they realize, hey, they can kind of take their time a little bit. They have some clock to waste. And Thomas Dono grabs him by the arms and yanks him. He is going to get the yellow, rightfully so, and he recognizes that that is the correct call to make in terms of getting the yellow. He just wanted to foul the player so he could stop the attack chance. 1-0 Jaguars. Goal scored by Otavio Toluso, who faked a cross and then sent it into the net from the near side. Pretty much faked out the entire Futsal Factory defense. Very well done by him. I do not believe he's in. I think he checked out for the remainder of this match. Chembry gets that pass deflected. And looking for Nauman. Another offsides called. A lot of late offsides calls made. And if you want my opinion, I don't think a lot of these side judges are in the correct position to be making the offsides calls one way or the other. A lot of them find themselves behind the play instead of in front of it like they should be. Just my 2 cents. Don't need to agree with it. Ryushin Harami trying to do some crazy stuff. He ends up getting deflected out of bounds before anything too crazy takes place. Less than 5 minutes to go before stoppage time. Jags will get it in the danger zone. And with such a close game like this, a goal by either side would completely flip the game on its head. And David Buck gets pushed over pretty much. The call was made on the Futsal Factory. Buck's arm, the right arm fell on the soccer ball, so I think that's the call, is that it's a handball, and therefore a free kick on the near side, just outside of the box. Only 3 players for the wall for the Factory. Cross was on target before it was headed away. Now the Factory trying to start a run of their own. That was number 13, Josh Jason Kevich. Excuse me there. Ball being moved back and forth, and anything like that works in favor of the Jaguars, who are up 1-0, trying to do everything to keep their lead alive. Throw-in will be sent into the attacking space. This is Adam Pluschek, who is an excellent attacker, manages to keep his focus and concentration to keep that ball in bounds. Attacker not in the right space. I believe that was 43 Dominic Dono. Now on the other side, he is Cyan trying to keep that possession alive before it's kicked out. Throw in favor of Futsal Factory. Thomas Dono yelling directions. Make sure that the throw-in goes to the right person. comeback chance for the Michigan Jaguars. His teammates were shouting time, like, take it easy. And I don't think those Jaguars attackers know what that means. They are full speed ahead pretty much every time. Unsworth wanted the foul. Not going to get it. Not going to win an Oscar for that performance. And that ball cleared to the other side of the field, where Futsal Factory are 2 minutes and change away from losing to the Futsal Factory team. Futsal Factory are 2 minutes away from losing to this Jags team, a team that they beat pretty decisively last year. So it's interesting how these teams, despite roughly the same roster on both sides, can result in different exchanges. That foul by Ryushin Harami was clear as day. Again, just trying to waste time. David Buck recognized the situation, and so does Connor Simpson, who sends it away. That ball headed up into the air and into the arms of Alvaro Lopez, who will fall on it. Again, doing everything he can to waste time. Pass stolen. Yasayan once again will go inside. Nobody home. Dan Diak yelling at his team. Up 1-0, not satisfied. Trying to make sure that everybody is on the same page on defense. While Drew Ducker, who typically plays in these games, is not on the field today, wearing that blue Futsal Factory shirt. Coaching his squad pretty close to the touchline. So is Dan Diak, so I guess it's not anything too crazy. Ryushin Harami wanted that attacking chance. Looked like he might have been offsides, but they don't call it. Robbie Oates with the ball in his possession. This is Goldstein. Sends it up the way to Nauman, who gets not the right touch before Arthur White fights for that ball all the way up towards the center field. Shembury gets fouled by pretty close to 2 players. Telling Thomas Dono, hey, cut it out. And Dono says, yeah, I know. We are now in extra time. I would suggest roughly 5 to 6 minutes. The water breaks in this half felt a little longer than the ones in the first half. I could be wrong on that, but just based on the way the flow of the game has gone. Dominic Dono trying to keep pace of play alive. Possession will flip back to the Factory. Buck sends it towards center field, pretty close to the attacking box for Futsal Factory. It'll be Buck to throw it in. Fakes it wide, will go to Oates instead. Another cross. Collected by Ramajiku. Goldstein to center field once again, inside the box. No one wants to take a shot. Everyone's trying to get it in. And oh my goodness! At the death! Chris Nauman! The ball bounced here, then it bounced there, then it bounced everywhere before falling at the left foot of Chris Nauman to tie the game up at 1 apiece at the death to save points for this Futsal Factory team. Wow. Oh, if you're Dan Diak, you got to be frustrated. But if you're Drew Ducker, probably elated. You can walk out of here and at least get a point. Goal scored in the 92nd minute. Shot. Oh my goodness. All this play in the box. Is there a penalty call? No, it's going to be an offsides. Commotion on the other side of the field, and the offsides is called before the penalty is. is going to make a difference. In the 93rd minute, less than 2 to go, now Unsworth recognizes the chance that Futsal Factory has to not only steal a few points from Jaguars, they can steal all the points if they're careful. Excellent movement from the Jaguars. I apologize, I did miss some of the commotion on the attacking side of the field. That could have been in Jaguars' favor, but no, they get called for the offsides. It was Adam Pluscheck, who's now going to have a chance towards the box, goes into the arms of Wesley Billings. Tough physical play by both sides. Throw in for the Jag side. We'll go to Adam Pluscheck. Off the foot of Harami now. Shot too high. Wesley Billings begging for a ball from the little girl. God bless her. As both of these sides are trying to move quick. Because neither side is going to go home happy if the result is a 1-1 tie. And before Futsal Factory can get a chance to attack on that, the final whistle will blow. And that is going to be the end of the game. Drama at the finale, and it leads to a 1-1 tie. The first draw of the season for both sides, and Dan Diak is making his case for why on God's green earth was that penalty not called. Regardless, that is the end of the game. That is how it's going to end. Let's go through this one. No scores, not a lot of anything besides shots on goal in the first half. Wesley Billings had 5. Alfonso Henrique, had 3. Only 5 shots on goal in the entirety of the second half. So not a lot of momentum being able to be created by either side. It was Otavio Toluso who faked a cross, and ended up putting that ball right into the back of the net in the 58th minute. And meanwhile, a lot of passing back and forth, a lot of runs that didn't amount to a whole lot before in the 92nd minute. The ball was bouncing inside the Michigan Jaguars box, headed up by multiple players before the left foot of Chris Nauman sent it into the net at the death to secure the tie for Futsal Factory. Obviously, neither side is probably happy about the draw, but if you're Futsal Factory, to be able to steal points away from Michigan Jaguars, you got to be satisfied with that. At least with the way that this game has gone. That is going to do it for us from We Are Soccer. For the Point Images crew, Ed, Hera, and the boys, my name is Garrett Pogg. Thank you so much for joining us on We Are Soccer. Coming up is going to be the We Are Soccer Show, the weekly show that happens every Sunday from Novi, Michigan. Stick around for that, and we will be right back in due time for another broadcast of soccer. Take care of yourselves, God bless you, and have a good night. Beautiful. My phone's about to die. Sharpie started to dry out. Ed, you want the, you want me to take a picture and send this to you?
What's that?
You want me to take a picture of this and send it to you like I did last
Would
time?
you please? Yeah.
Yeah, I gotcha.
1-1.
That's what I told Bill. I said it's either going to be 0-0 or 1-1 at halftime. That's what I said.
Well, and so there was too much stoppage time to hold that lead.
Nope, nobody wanted to play out there. They were all, from the first minute, everybody was so tired.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we have actually filmed the game, the baseball game, and saw a kid. I was cruising
I'm shocked they played.
Went
Honestly.
straight down on his face. Well, the ice here. So, and they were surprised they played.
Especially with how these refs can be, and the types of.
When's he supposed to be in camp? What thunderstorms?
Oh,
Well, it's
really?
not supposed to be as hot. It's supposed to be rainy.
Okay. Where are you guys at for that? Oh, you guys are Detroit United. So I was supposed to do that game. I told Ed, not Ed. I told John, or not John, you're John. One of the guys. I told Craig I was overworked, couldn't be there.